part 2 of Wynonna Earp level aggravation and emotional manipulation. So, like I was saying at the end of the first video, when you get into my entertainment, or when you cross over into entertainment with basic, just basic bullshit, then it's like you are blatantly trying to manipulate or hurt someone. Because there's things like government issues, politics, family issues, religious issues. All of these things, these things are bound to happen. They are bound to happen. But when they use things like entertainment, television shows, music, movies, books, things that are supposed to be used as entertainment, you are blatantly trying to hurt someone. And the same goes for entertainment. When someone like a movie star or a director or a singer or an author or an artist of any sort, painter, photographer, potter, or I believe that's the right word. I don't know. I could be using that could be the wrong word. But if any person in the entertainment artistry world tries to use their craft to hurt someone and vice versa, you're a fucking asshole. Because it's entertainment. It is made, or it's supposed to be made, so a person can escape reality. Now, there are some things like movies and books and whatnot that are made from actual events that have happened in life, in the real world. That's entertainment. That is supposed to bring you information or kind of a point of view of someone or an outsider looking in or what have you. But I am blessed and sometimes cursed with the ability to see someone coming 10,000 years away trying to use their stance in a fandom, in a group, in a family, to use their opinion in that situation to hurt people. And this is what this person did. Not only did they put their opinion out there, other people agreed and they threw their opinion in on the situation. And don't get me wrong, don't misunderstand me at all. You are allowed to have your opinions. But that's not giving you the freedom from the consequences of your opinions. Because there's going to be consequences for every action in the world, good or bad. And I felt like this person, and I felt this person, this meanness, this anger that this person put here. And I was not going to sit back and just be like, oh, somebody in the fandom said something, I'm just gonna shut up. Because apparently this is a long-standing person in this fandom. Because I am not a person that has been in the fandom for a very long time. I found Wynonna when Wynonna was going into the second season. They are some people that have been with Wynonna Earp since Wynonna Earp, since Emily has been with Lost Girl, because she did Lost Girl. And so, I mean, they were with Wynonna Earp when Lost Girl was over, and Emily was like, okay, I guess, what am I going to do next? And whoop, let's do Wynonna Earp. So they've been with Wynonna Earp for that long, and I guess this person had that much of a standing and figured, I can say whatever the fuck it is that I feel like saying, and that's going to be the end of the day, and people are just going to take what I have to say and they're going to agree with it, and that's going to be it. No, that's not it. That is not it, boo. You're not going to say what you feel like saying, and that's not going to be the end of the day, because you're going to say what you want to say, granted. You have that right, granted, because on the internet, everybody has the freedom of speech, regardless of what country you come from. Because I do feel like there's some countries in the world that they don't have freedom of speech. I might be wrong, but I do feel like that sometimes. Sometimes I feel like here in America you don't have freedom of speech. Because the way, you can say the innocent of innocent things and they get taken way out of hand. But, I've even said some very innocent stuff and people will just have blown the fuck up at me for saying that. And I'm like, geez Louise, if I said some innocent, very innocent stuff online and people blow up at me, how can people like this person say the things that they say or said or have said in this thread to me and no one but me have said anything? And trust me, I've watched the analytics of the things that I've said to this person and analytics of this conversation that we've had back and forth. And a lot of people have watched this conversation and no one has said anything. And it bothers me. And I don't know if it's because they're afraid to stand up and say something to this person, or if they're afraid, this is not my battle, I shouldn't say anything, or they don't understand where this conversation started, or I'm not sure. So I'm not really going to bitch and complain about the fact that no one has really said anything. But, well, not on that end. But the fact is, why is it that that person was allowed to say something like that in the first place? And I think it was there for 2 days. And people commented positively in that person's favor with negative on other people's favor. That is confusing. But they commented positively in their favor. And no one said anything for 2 days except for me. And yet, when I did say something, and what I said was along the lines, and it's not the exact words, but when I did say something, and when I said, when someone makes the conscious decision to drink themselves to sleep, it is not another person's responsibility, nor is it their fault. This person goes batshit crazy. How is that not worthy of other people chiming in and saying, you know what? I may have agreed with this person, but you're absolutely right, Risa. It is not someone else's responsibility because someone else drank themselves to sleep every night. Because it's not. It is not someone else's decision. I mean, it's not someone else's decision, and it's not someone else's responsibility. Like I said in the first video, Wynonna is what brought me to this table, but she is not what keeps me at this table. Your comment is what keeps me at this table. Your negative answers to my comments is what keeps me at this table. My answers is pivoting you away from the show and the fandom, because it is far, 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 and I can't stress this so much, far to the 11th billionth power beyond the Wynonna Earp fandom and the Wynonna Earp show. This is about emotions and about the fact that i.e. this person, is trying to make this about this show and about me being a Waverly stan, and I'm not a Waverly stan. I mean, I love Waverly, but the truth is, I love Wynonna, I love Nicole, and I love Waverly. Those are my three favorite people on that show. I could care less for the rest of Purgatory. I love those three. I love Dom, Mel, and Kat. Those are my three people. If I could be in a relationship with all three of those people, I would care less. If you came to me and you'd be like, fuck, marry, and kill, or you die, I would be like, kill me. Because there's no way I could fuck, marry, and kill. There's just no. It would be fuck, marry, 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 and fuck. All of them. Because there's just no. I want to be in a relationship with all three of them. Because I love all three of them. I love Waverly, Nicole, and Wynonna. All three of them have trauma. All three of them have pain. All three of them have emotional issues. The difference is, and I stress this to this person, the difference is Nicole and Waverly have learned how to deal with their emotional issues and their emotional trauma, and they're trying to live their lives the best way they can in the Ghost River Triangle. That is the difference. That is the difference in between those two and Wynonna. But they are so hell bent on making everything about Wynonna and Wynonna's poor, poor, piss poor decisions in life. You. I felt like Ross Geller, and I'm dating myself so much right now. I felt like Ross Geller in Friends when him and Chandler was trying to get that couch up the stairs, and he kept screaming, pivot, 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 because I was trying so hard to pivot this person away from the television show and away from the fandom, so they could see that this conversation wasn't about the show. It wasn't about the fandom. It wasn't about Mel, Cat, and Dom. It wasn't about Wynonna, Waverly, and Nicole. It was about their choice in what they said, in the emotional um the emotional actions. It was about their choice of words. It was about what it was saying emotionally to people, and how the actions of other people agreeing to that was just making it worse. That's what I was trying to do. But they were just so hell bent on keeping it focused on the show. And if you can't tell that I am so tired right now by looking at me, I got a hair in my eye. But yep, I do. I have been so worn down over the conversation with this person over Twitter. I mean, if you watch, I have done other videos, but this conversation over Twitter is so tiring because it uses up so much emotional strength, because I honestly got so fucking emotionally tired and aggravated in this conversation, because they just would not see past their own fucking nose. I don't have a very big nose. I have a very small nose. I hate it. I wish I could so rhinoplasty. But they just would not see past their own nose. They would not see the fact that they made such a horrible choice in words, that they made such a horrible choice when they posted that comment. And that was a horrible choice. That was stomping on people's emotions. And then other people coming in, chiming in, agreeing, saying other terrible, emotionally stunting shit, and then them commenting on that even worse, emotionally stunting shit. They kept making it worse. Excuse me. They kept making it worse, and I was trying to pivot them, and I was trying to show them, and I was trying to tell them, you, my friend, are making things so much worse than what it should be. You should have retracted that comment. You shouldn't have posted it in the first place, because it was so horrible and it was so bad. I mean, it wasn't horrible as in every other word was a bad word, but emotionally, when you read it, it was just like, you didn't think at all. Like I said, it was just a very narcissist, like, inspiring comment. Especially, like, the last line was like, do you people not think? It was really a narcissist inspired comment. And I was just like, you don't whatsoever. This is not about the show. It's not. It's about people's emotions. It's about the emotions of a person that's part of a family that has to deal with somebody who is a raging alcoholic. A raging alcoholic. It doesn't matter if they're a fun alcoholic or a mean drunk. It's about people's emotions that have trauma. It's about people's emotions that have trauma that they haven't dealt with, and trauma that they have dealt with, and the underlying trauma, and so on and so forth. But you are continuously making it about a television show, and it's not about this television show. And I've spent days upon days trying to get this person to realize that. I've went several avenues before jumping on the avenue of saying, okay, well, you know what, if they're not going to realize it's about trauma, I'm going to use personal experiences. And I used my own personal experience trying to use that as an example that this comment or this situation is about personal trauma. It's not about the show. That didn't work. They kept trying to go back to the show. I've tried every avenue until we got to today. And this is where I go to right back to the first video that I did. Well, the previous video to this one. That made me say, I just, no, I can't. I just cannot. I cannot. Because they wanted to go on and on and on. And it was just like, I told them, I was like, the last comments that I made to them was I told them that Kat and Dom made various comments that the show was basically about emotions. It's about emotions at times. And this person wants to, even at that comment, they want to take this comment that I made stating that 2 of the 3 stars of the show, well, 2 of the 3 main female stars of the show said at key moments, this show is about emotions. This person wants to take that comment that I made and say, I watch this show because it's Wynonna Earp and Melanie. Mel is the star. That's not what I'm saying. I know what the fucking show is about. I know who the lead character is. Still, they didn't get it. Still, they did not get it. I just told you. I'm telling you what you did, what you said, what you were trying to do is ignore people's emotions, and you made a comment that's emotionally scarring and stunting to an emotional group of people, and you don't give up. You're blatant. You need to backtrack and apologize for what you said, because you just stepped all over a whole bunch of people in this fandom. I just gave you an example from 2 of the 3 stars of the show, 2 of the 3 female stars of the show that people generally watch the show for, and telling you that at times the show is basically about emotions. There's a part of the show from the episode is a very emotional scene that you want to use is actually an emotional scene. It's about emotions, and yet you want to come back. Your rebuttal is this show is called Wynonna Earp. I watched the show because the main character is. So you're telling me you only watch the show because this person is basically telling me in so many words, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Whatever Wynonna does, says, going to do, I'm going to support. That's basically what they're saying. So Wynonna, even though she's not, but Wynonna can be an abusive, alcoholic, crack whore that has 1,700 kids and beats every last one of them. And this person is going to support everything that she does. End of story. Because this is what this person is telling me. Because I'm sitting up here and I'm trying to tell you that I'm not trying to talk about a television show. I don't care about the television show. I mean, I do, but I in this situation, I don't. I'm talking about the emotions that you are stepping on. And you are telling me that you don't give a fuck about anybody's emotions. You don't care about anybody's emotions. You're going to say and you're going to do whatever you want to do. And by, you don't have to say that physically in those words. The way you said that, the way that this person said that was several ways. They kept pivoting, even though I kept snatching them around and trying to pivot them away from it. They kept going right back to the show, right back to the show, right. And I'm telling you, and I'm taking you away from the show, away from the characters, away from everything. I am giving you um, personal examples. I'm not using those characters' names. I'm using the word fictional character. I'm doing this. You know, in instincts where they kept using the name Wynonna and Waverly. Yeah, I would, but in most of the time I was using fictional character, or I was using personal moments, or the word people and person, and it's not someone's responsibility. I kept trying to take this person away from a television program because this was not I was not talking about a television program. I was talking about actual people, actual emotions. Something that, like I said, two of the three female lead stars told the entire fandom that this show is very emotional at best of times. And that's what brings fans to the table, and that's what keeps them there. And when she called me, well, you know, at this point, I'm starting to believe it's a very stuck up female woman. And female woman is the same thing. But I'm starting to think it's a very stuck up girl. Not a woman, girl. Or problematic Karen. But I'm not going to say Karen. Just a problematic woman. But anyway, I'm just going to keep going with this person. At this time, this person goes and says, well, I'm going to stop because this conversation has been very problematic for me emotionally and has made me feel less than. And I'm just like, made you feel less than. And this video is gonna be a lot longer because I'm rolling up on 30 minutes, but fuck. This conversation has made you feel less than. How the fuck has this conversation made you feel less than when I just spent the entirety of this conversation telling you that your original comment was problematic for people who were in relationships with people who are emotionally stunted with trauma, who have alcohol problems. They don't have to be raging alcoholics. Well, yes, they do have to be raging alcoholics because Wynonna is a raging alcoholic. Because it just seems like this Wynonna never it. I don't think I ever seen Wynonna drink anything other than alcohol or coffee, except for when she was pregnant. But I spent the entirety of this conversation telling you your first original comment was problematic because you made this comment and it was just blatantly telling people it's okay for someone who's a raging fucking alcoholic to do whatever the fuck they feel like doing. And if you are related to that person and you're very close to that person, you have to be and follow behind that person and make sure that they do everything that they're supposed to do and fuck your goddamn feelings. Because that's what that person is blatantly saying. That's, that is the very nucleus of this conversation. Because way back in the very first video that I cannot stand having to do 2 more fucking videos about this, Jolene made the comment about about Wynonna drinking herself to sleep at night and Waverly basically living her life and giggling and loving Nicole and just being in love and loving Nicole and just with her fiance, with the woman she loves, with the woman of her dreams, with the woman that literally died for her. The woman that made a pact with a witch, with a I don't know what the Clinton was to the Earp family, but she made a deal with this woman to bring her back from the garden. And then she died for her. So Waverly is allowed to love. And this person made this comment telling these people in so many words, you follow after your alcoholic relative that you are the closest to. You make sure that they eat, they sleep, they do everything they're supposed to do because they're out there, they're going to work, they're paying bills, and they're doing this, that. Okay, that's great. You know what? Like I said, my brother's a raging alcoholic, and he is not Wynonna. Wynonna's fun. Wynonna's cool. Wynonna's great at times. My brother is, when he's sober, he's cool. When he's not, he's not. But that's like telling me you follow after your brother when he's drunk and he's sober. You make sure he eats, you make sure he sleeps, you make sure he goes to work, you make sure he bathes, you make sure he showers, you make sure he does this, that, and the other. If you get in a relationship, fuck your feelings about your relationship. Fuck your girlfriend. Fuck your fiance when you get engaged. If she falls behind you, that's great. If your relationship suffers too damn bad, you make sure your brother does what the fuck he needs to do because he's working. He has this, that, and the other. He has trauma. Oh, and you're not allowed to have a happy relationship. You can have a relationship, but you're not allowed to have a relationship. Why? Because your brother is single. He had a relationship. His boyfriend is still in his life, because they work together and they're close friends with you and your family, but they're not together. They have a kid together, but they're not together. So he got trauma for that. So he drinks himself to sleep at night because they still see each other. So your relationship's gonna that's what this person is saying. That's what this person is saying. And that's what I spent this whole fucking goddamn conversation telling this person. You cannot say this. Because that's what you're telling people. You're telling people that Waverly can't have a fucking life because Wynonna's out there and she's doing all of this stuff. All of this. And Waverly's job is to follow behind her and make sure she does all this stuff and make sure that and the fact that Wynonna drinks herself to sleep at night is Waverly's fault. Fuck the fact that I'm trying to pivot away from this and I'm trying to tell her this is about emotions. This is not about this. That she wants to stay on the television show or he whatever. I'm gonna use she. She wants to stay on the television show. Let's stay on the television show. But that's what you're saying. So fine. Let's say that. So she goes and she says, "This has made me feel like I'm less than." What? How the fuck does it make you feel like you're less than when I spent this whole conversation trying to tell you you were wrong for saying what you said? And this is why. You're the one who made me feel like I'm the one who's less than. My emotions are less than. You're the one who made it seem like my emotions and my relationships with whoever, whatever my fiance or whoever I might be with at the moment takes a backseat to my family relative, whoever might be out there doing whatever it is that they're doing because they drink themselves to sleep at night because they're out there doing a job that's dangerous. I tend to my brother's needs when I need to. If he's sad and he comes to me, I'm going to be there for him. But if I'm in a relationship and I'm happy, I'm also going to tend to my girlfriend. And I'm going to tend to my fiance if she gets to that point that she's my fiance. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to have time to plan my wedding and I'm going to be happy. You, and I told her this, you don't get to play the victim because you made a fucked up comment and somebody called you out. You're the one who made the fucked up comment. Now you want to sit up here and say, it made me feel less than. And why? Because I told you that you don't get to say this to people? No. I am so sick and tired of people using entertainment to further their narratives in life, to further hurt people in some way, shape, or form. This show is about entertainment. It's a great show. And I am so glad that I got so fucking bored all those years ago. I got on YouTube and I just started searching random uh, lesbians television shows. Just looked up lesbians in TV shows, and I found Waverly and Nicole because I found Dom, Cat, and Melanie, and those three women are so amazing. But some of the people in this fandom are just the worst. Now, I've met some people that are great. I met one person in this fandom. She is awesome. Becca is amazing. I don't talk to her, and I gotta text her today. I don't talk to her as much as I should, but she is great. And I met her through someone because I'm losing my hearing. And they hooked me up with her because she understood hard of hearing. And I just needed someone that understands hard of hearing. That's why I talk really loud, because I go through stages where I can't hear. So I apologize now. I forgot to apologize before. But I apologize now for the fact that I scream a lot. But Becca is a sweet, amazing person that I would love to meet in real life and just hang out with. She has a great smile. She has a great personality. She just. Sometimes I think I would love to marry that girl. I really do. But she's just a great person. And there's other great people in this fandom. But then there's other people that are just the worst. And this person that I spent all this time trying to get her to understand that her comment caused more problems than anything else, they are the worst. Jesus. You guys, this is another moment where I just stood up and said fuck you to everything. And I'm going to continue to say fuck you to everything. We got to stand up. If you need my help, my hand is out. I will help you stand up if you need help. If you are physically unable, I will push your chair. I don't care. But we have to stand up. We have to. Because in this, in these fandoms, and the fandoms and the queer community, and it's starting to get bad, and it's just, people have to stand up, and we have to talk about